Are you a multifamily investor? Maybe you're a multifamily broker. And maybe you have a mom and pop seller who did not get caught up in all the craziness of the last era. Maybe they have a bunch of equity and they are looking to get out. But unfortunately, their timing sucks. They are selling into a distressed environment and they are seeing cap rates rise. They are seeing price per door collapse and they feel like they missed the boat. You know what? There is an answer. If you are a multifamily investor, if you are a multifamily broker, you need to understand the 50-40-10. It is a way that they can get their price, carry some paper, give a lower blended interest rate, and everybody wins. The only people on the planet that I know of that do 50-40-10s, 10% down on large multifamily properties is Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage. Stephen, do that marketing thing real quick, and then let's get into the 50-40-10.
Let's go. Again, although I've worked very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel, that of my own. So let's get it going.
Yeah, so let's just give some real examples. Obviously, we've all heard about Brandon Turner's horrendous deal, which he bought for $72 million, sold for $57 million. Complete collapse, complete loss of investor capital at $15 million. So what does this mean? Well, it means that that's now a comp. That means that there are other assets in that market falling. And that means that this is going to be happening at other scales. That unit was, I'm sure, several hundred units. But you know what? Maybe there's a 10, a 20, a 30 unit building in your area that the sellers just want out. They're tired. They want to retire. They want to move on. But unfortunately, they're selling at the wrong time where there are other distressed assets pulling down the value. They can either A, sell into that, or B, get creative, take some equity, and carry a second. Stephen, you guys have the 50-40-10. It is the most flexible Swiss Army knife I'm aware of. Tell us about it. Let's assume they haven't heard anything. What is it?
Again, it's a combination of the financing structured with a first mortgage done by Velocity, anywhere from, ideally the way we structured on that 50-40-10, because if I did a 50% LTV loan or less, that would be where my best rates would be.
Sure.
The seller would then carry 40% if they had enough equity, because we allow up to a maximum combined loan to value of 90%. That would then allow the buyer to come in with just that last minimum 10% down. So that structure typically would allow the highest probability of the property cash flowing from day one, given the blended rate. Because again, from what I've done so far with that specific setup, 50-40-10, I've done at least close to 5 where the seller carried a 10-year balloon, 1% interest only.
Yeah.
So if you can blend that with, because I've done a residential and even a commercial property with the 50-40-10, but on the residential side, I mean, I'm like close to 7.5 right now with good credit. So if you can blend that with 1% of 40% of your purchase price, again, your blended rate is somewhere in the, I think, the high 3% range, but you got 90% leverage.
Yeah.
Now you're just seeing if the market rents would be able to justify something like that. So it's a neat little tool, not for everybody, not for every situation, but given the right circumstance where the seller has enough equity and is willing to carry some paper, and if the market rents kind of make sense for everybody, it really works out. It's a win-win. Truly, it is.
Yeah. So again, this 50-40-10 is going to work in this environment because again, there are plenty of owners who have plenty of equity, maybe even free and clear, right? They've owned the property for 30 years. And, they didn't sell in 21 when maybe they should have, when they would have got maximum price, but they want to sell in 2026 or 2027. And they're looking at prices and they're not happy because of all the distressed debt and, people taking massive haircuts and banks taking massive haircuts. So they have a choice, right? Let's do some real numbers. Let's talk about an apartment building in my neck of the woods. Let's assume in 2021, and again, I used to own this building. So this building is 13 units. It is listed right now at $2.4 million. It is not worth anywhere close to $2.4 million. I think this property retrades at $1 million to $1.1 million. So this is just a syndicator who got involved. They're going to lose all their LP money. They're going to lose a lot of the bank money. But if you're the owner of the building next door, which in this case is 28 units,
right,
and you didn't put on new debt and you've owned it for a while, because I know these owners, and you're looking at that other property falling apart because you can't do capital investments and it's just literally deteriorating. The 28 unit, owner has a problem. they can either A, wait for the cycle to turn, which could be 5 years. B, they could sell at a discount, which, if they need cash in a quick close, maybe they have to, but they're going to take a massive haircut for what it could have sold for. Or C, they can get creative. They could take 40% of the purchase, take it as a note. They could do a 10-year balloon at 1%, as this example, and get 60% of the cash today, right? Think about it. They get 50% from velocity, they get 10% from the buyer, and they keep 40%. So they are going to get more money over the full duration. They're going to pay less taxes because you're only going to pay taxes on the 60% you get and then on the note until that 40% is paid off later. Again, talk to your accountant. But this is just a way, the 50-40-10 can really help the seller maximize value, can help the buyer get a lower blended interest rate, and it can help cash flow day one, and only 10% down. It is truly the biggest win-win I've ever seen.
Well, again, given the right circumstance, it truly is, because the seller gets their price and they get to sell now. That's kind of their main goal. Buyer, picks up a property that can cash flow sometimes from, to 10% down from day one. So I don't know where it wouldn't be a win-win. You know what I mean? Both parties kind of get exactly almost what they wanted. So you just have to do, the homework and the series of math problems, really. Calculating,
I think,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. When I look at these opportunities, and I'm looking at them all the time, you got to look for a seller who has equity. Right. In this case, they're going to need at least 40% equity, but I would look for at least 50% equity because otherwise they can't say yes. It's just a non-starter. So look for lots of equity. Also look for days on market. Again, the longer the days on market is good. I would also look for when did they buy, right? If they bought in 21 or 22, pass. They have no equity. They're going to lose money. But if they bought in 2002, make some phone calls.
Well, again, I think utilize maybe PopStream or one of the other platforms that you talked about. And you can kind of get an idea of the backstory. Hey, what was the financing, or when did they buy it, like you said? Because then now you can almost gauge like how much equity do they have, and then sometimes even with the chain of title, you can see transactions after they purchase it. Do they got like a second, or did they pull cash out? So you can kind of see, some of the telltale signs. Like I've seen where you can see people took a HELOC out, and now they had equity, but now they're like almost upside down. So that almost tells the story. I'm like, why are you pulling equity out of your property? You're going through some hardships or something. So you can then now almost like, hey, before you have no equity left, maybe we want to take a look at this, or maybe I'm just might be prematurely calling, but I kind of see some signs here of some potential distress. So I think it's just the initial introduction and the conversation, and then getting to the decision maker and having that meaningful conversation of basically, if you're serious about selling, I might have a particular product. Main question is, do you need all the proceeds from the sale of your property? That's really just get down to the meat potatoes. If they say no, then you got action.
So let's paint the picture. How big could this get? Again, I know they could use any investment property, 1s, 4s, all of that, but could they tackle a $5 million deal this way? What do you think is the upper limit?
Well, ideally, again, I wouldn't say ideally for me, because I get paid on loan size.
So fair enough.
Ideally, right. So I think where it still fits within the guidelines, and you're not too much, going beyond our normal, guidelines.
Not getting
ideally at 50% LTV and under. I mean, it'd be like a $10 million purchase, right? I could do a $5 million first mortgage at 50% LTV. Seller carries $4 million, buyer comes in with $1 million. I mean, that's technically possible.
This is all just framework. So again, folks, happy hunting. You can look for a 6, an 8, a $10 million property, assuming the seller has enough equity, assuming you have the scratch or partners to bring in the 10%. And then it's just a math problem. Right? How can I make sure that I cash flow this property long term? How can I make sure the seller second's not going to blow up on me? Hint, get 10 years at least. And then lastly, reach out to Stephen Dow, because he's done lots of these and he can help you with the math problem, right?
I mean, I was going to use the racial joke. You know what I mean? Math. Anytime you need, buddy. Math is right up my alley.
He said that, not me.
I didn't want to get in trouble with your wife. So yes, I said that, folks. But I mean, again, emails always going to be the best. Subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT. That'll help me find your emails better. I'm at the point where I got problems to have. I'm just abundantly, popular where people are just reaching out to me. So in 30-minute window, I might get 800 emails. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Problems to have. Yeah.
Yes. Again, but it would just make it easier for me to try to find your email in that whole tsunami of emails. So other than that, the body of the email, a brief description, what you're looking for, property address is going to be super helpful. Maybe city and state to make sure I can lend there. Your mid-FICO score, best phone number to reach you at, and typically 48 to 72 hours, I'll be in touch.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. Have a good week.
Likewise. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you. You too.